Hey, what's going on YouTube? Nick here. Today I'd like to show off my DIY 2x12 guitar speaker cabinet. So as you can see here, I've been wanting to make a 2x12 for a while, or I've been wanting to make a guitar speaker cabinet for quite a while. The only guitar amps that I currently own are this orange 1x10 35 RT combo. And I've got a Marshall 4x12 half stack in my closet, but 4x12 is not practical really for me to be having out. I wanted something smaller, but at the same time I didn't want anything less than a 12-inch speaker, and in the end I wanted two of them because I still like that massive guitar sound. I just wanted something a little more compact. And the reason I wanted to build this cabinet is because, I've been wanting to get into DIY cabinet building for speakers for quite a while, and after watching enough videos, I decided to just go for it. I received a bunch of tools for Christmas, a bunch of Ryobi. It's like a starter pack, a bolt driver, a drill, a little circular saw, and a multi-tool sander, things like that. And I went out and bought a Ryobi palm router because I knew I was going to need the router for mostly for cutting these circles, but also for doing the trim properly. I could have sanded it, but it wouldn't have come out as even. So anyway, here goes. This is a 2x12 cabinet made out of 3/4 inch birch plywood. It's a sealed design, so it's completely sealed in the back, and there on the back is a 1/2 inch birch plywood baffle. The speakers are mounted into a 3/4 inch plywood baffle, and everything is sealed. All the joints of this cabinet are sealed with wax, wood glue, and mainly they're sealed with Dynaflex. It's home contractor like industrial sealant. It's kind of like liquid rubber. It dries into a rubbery material, and it's excellent for creating airtight seals because it's used for things like toilets and tubs and sinks. So it's waterproof and airproof and all that. The speakers are I didn't want to skimp on the speakers. I was looking into warehouse guitar speakers. I knew I wanted to put at least a vintage 30 in this cab, and in the end I went with one vintage 30 and one Celestion CreamBack H, because I figured if I make a 2-speaker cabinet, I can wire them in parallel for an 8 ohm load, and I can get I can blend 2 different speakers together for a more well-balanced a nicer guitar tone instead of just putting 2 vintage 30s in here. Now, after turning this thing on and playing through it, honestly, they both sound really good, but I can't really tell the difference between either speaker, and maybe that's because they're both playing at the same time, but they both sounded very similar to me when I tried to listen to them individually. So I'm sure that they have their own properties when measured scientifically, but more or less they sound about the same, but they're very nice speakers. Vintage 30 is obviously a classic and an industry standard, and the Celestion CreamBack H, it's an awesome looking speaker. I love the back piece on it, the cream plastic covering. So as you can see, these speakers are sunk into the cabinet about almost 2 inches. And that was on purpose. That's to protect the speakers from any kind of damage. There's going to be a grill cloth over here. I'm going to build a wooden frame that goes around the outside. And I'm going to use either magnets or Velcro to attach it so it'll be removable. But that's going to give it an additional like 1/2 inch or more of, it's going to add to the depth. So when the speaker grill cloth is installed, it's only going to be probably an inch or so recess, which is perfect. That's what I was going for. So as far as construction, you know, like I said, I didn't have any specialty tools, didn't have a table saw or any of that. I went to Home Depot several times for this project, and the main things I bought were 3 sheets of 3/4 inch birch plywood and 1 sheet of 1/2 inch birch plywood. It's all plywood. There's no MDF or anything on this cabinet, and I wanted to. The goal was a sealed enclosure, so I wanted everywhere where I put a screw in to bolt this thing together has wax on the screws, and there's glue over the hole. All the holes are countersunk with a countersinking bit, so everything should be pretty much airtight. You know, there's a ring. There's basically a rubber coating on the inside of this baffle, and there's a rubber gasket on the back as well, where the back plate goes in. Now I'm gonna have to shave down this back plate to fit Tolex on it. I realize that, so that's gonna be kind of a challenge to figure out, you know, just how much I need to shave it to fit this Tolex on here. But once the Tolex is on, it'll be even more airtight because the Tolex will cover any little gap. But there, you know, as of now, there aren't any gaps in it. It sounds awesome as it is. I've only played it with the back off, and it's amazingly loud with a little 20-watt orange head going through it. This is the only head that I've used so far, is this orange dark, micro dark, and you know, it sounds awesome. Like it sounds massive. It sounds just like a 412. So I'm pretty pumped about the. If nothing else, just the sound of this thing alone is going to be incredible. So I'll demo that here in the video in a second. But the main thing I wanted to go over was like procedure. Unfortunately, I didn't film much of the building process. I took a few pictures. I'll try to put those in the video, but mostly I was too busy, too focused on doing everything right. This was my first cabinet build, so I really wanted to make sure it came out good. I wanted something, you know, as close to factory, as close to professional as I could get. The one kind of, you know, goof that I did was when I made the 4 corner braces, I didn't really measure quite accurately enough, and so the end result is that this front baffle is slightly closer to the edge in the front and the bottom than it is on the top, which is fine. It ends up being like an angled cabinet, but you know, I was going for exactly the same lip on all sides, so that's one part I'll have to do better on my next build. But overall, I'm very happy with this. It came out wonderfully. I basically took my design tips from my existing 4x12 and just kind of went with it, and you know, I'm very pleased that I did, because I honestly don't think I'll be buying any more speaker cabinets in the future. I think anything that I want, I can build it. It'll be a custom build that I can call my own, and now that I have all the tools, you know, it's a matter of kind of going out and buying the wood now, and now I know that I can make another one of these, and I can make it even better than last time. I got the back plate off. As you can see, it uses these 1 1/4 inch wood screws, and there are 8, 11, 14 holes in all countersunk. So I'm going to be wrapping this, as well as the rest of the wood part of the cabinet, in Tolex. So some problems I've realized I'm going to be running into is that, let's see. So I loosened all the screws on the front of the speaker baffle, everything that holds the baffle into place, and it actually is stuck in there without any screws because I used the Dynaflex to put a gasket behind here, so it's actually kind of glued in place. So I'm going to have a lot of trouble taking this baffle out to put the Tolex on, but I'm going to have to figure something out. I'll probably have to remove the speakers and kind of force it out. But anyhow, let's get a shot of the inside of the cabinet for you. So here is the Celestion CreamBack, and there is the vintage 30 down there, as you can see. See, I have this 2x4 with a hole, like a complete route cut through it, so it's acting as a brace. Braces the top and the bottom, and it also braces the baffle even stronger to the speaker cabinet. So that's the cabinet. I'm going to go ahead and hook it up real quick and give you a little sound demo so you can see how this thing sounds real quick. All right, here's got it hooked up to the orange micro dark. So there you have it, folks. There's my 212 cabinet, all hooked up and working. It's wired in parallel for an 8 ohm load. It's a CreamBack and a vintage 30 in the bottom.